Hi, it's Danielle here from the Teaching Entrepreneur Association, and today I wanted to discuss with you about our reflective practice. So when we're teaching, how many of you can say that you always reflect back after every session that you've taught? I mean, I can't say that I do. I try and remember to write something about every session that I teach. I try to really think about it. But I think as a whole, reflecting is probably the Cinderella of our teaching practice. You know, it's one of those ones that we don't do often enough, that there's always something else going on. You know, for example, we're going from one class to another, or we finish a session and there's a million and one other things to do. So I wanted to take a little bit of time today and just talk to you about how important reflective practice is, and a little bit about what we can do to make this easier so that, you know, we're not scrabbling around thinking, what shall I write? What do I think? What? I've come up with a checklist that has some questions on it that I think, well, I hope that you'll find take away that strain and stress, and that will make it easier for you to reflect on every practice. I think reflective practice is really vital, because say you're doing a 10-week course, say 2 hours a week, and then you're going to repeat that same course again. Wouldn't it be nice if you already knew, okay, that didn't work so well, so I'm going to change that, or that worked brilliantly, or actually I need to sit and think about that. So there's loads of questions that we could ask ourselves. So I thought what I would do is come up with a checklist that cuts out what questions to ask yourself and just lets you totally reflect and think about what happened in your session. So if you want that checklist, just click on the link and I'll send it to you. So some of the questions that I ask myself is, first of all, what went well in that session? What did I do that was really good? What made those students really learn? Then what didn't go so well? What would I change? How would I change it? What could I do differently? And if the students did get it, how can I challenge them and stretch them so that it improves their learning even more? So when I'm reflecting, I ask myself those questions. So let me give you an example. Years ago, I was teaching file management, and the topic was moving and copying files and folders. So I was trying to say, right, you can move this file into this folder, move this folder into this folder, and I was trying to teach my students how to do this. And worst of all, it was one of those sessions where I was being observed. Now, I don't mind being observed. In fact, I love it because it helps me improve my practice. But it was one of those sessions, it didn't matter what I did. I must have taught it in 5 different ways, and the students still didn't get it. So I came away from that session and thought, right, I've got to get another way of making them understand what it means to to copy and move files and folders. And eventually I came up with the idea of actually using boxes, and we moved boxes around so that they knew that if they were taking a copy of it, the original stayed there and they moved a copy, so they'd get 2 lots of it. So eventually we did get round, but it really made me sit back and think and reflect, okay, how can I do this? How can I get that message across? And you see, then the next time I taught it, I just brought the boxes out and they got it. So it was really, really useful. Reflective practice doesn't mean that you've got to criticise yourself on every single point of what you've done, but think about scenarios, think about points, what worked and what didn't, and give yourself the time, even if it's just 5 minutes, to think about your session, and to write some notes, so that when you come back to teach that session again, you've got some way of understanding what went well, what didn't go so well, and ultimately what you changed, so that your learners really learn. Here at T, we're always creating new how-to guides, new top tips, tutorials, checklists, worksheets, templates, and so much more. The reason we do this is to help you learn and progress further, and to really nail what I've been talking about. Don't forget, Click on the link below to receive yours and to take this topic to the next level. Okay, I hope that's been useful. And as I say, if you want the checklist, it's in the link below, and just click on it and I'll send it to you. Okay, until next time.